Death Dodgers, buckle your seatbelts and hold on to your premonitions, because today we're diving headfirst into Final Destination Bloodlines and that absolutely jaw-dropping opening scene. Set in a 1960s Space Needle-style restaurant with more glass and doom than a Black Mirror episode, this prologue doesn't just kick off the movie, it opens it with a bang, literally. From retro romance to full-blown disaster in minutes, it's a franchise resetting kill fest that lets us know from the get-go that death didn't come to play. We're breaking down the insane opening scene, the secrets behind the jaw-dropping stunt that actually set a record, and the wild alternate opening disaster the directors almost went with. Let's get into the fall, the flames, and the fate that started it all. Final Destination. What could possibly go wrong? A boy and a penny, that's what. Iris and her boyfriend Paul are there celebrating, with a band blasting the song Shout, and suddenly, in full That's So Raven fashion, Iris gets a brutal premonition. The glass floor shatters, people start falling, fire breaks out, we see splatting on the ground below, all pieces snapping together like one insane Rube Goldberg death trap. Iris barely hangs on as her engagement ring catches on a nail, ripping her finger off before she plummets to her death, impaling herself on a spike below, then snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity! She warns everyone just in time, stopping the disaster before it even begins. This opening isn't just a wild disaster set piece, it's the franchise's game changer. Iris saving everyone in 1969 kind of flips Final Destination on its head. For the first time, we see a disaster actually averted. Not just a few survivors, but hundreds spared, which means death sure as hell isn't done yet. Now, it's not just Bloodlines rewrites the rulebook and death's playing the long game. Decades later, that chaos still haunts Iris's bloodline. Her granddaughter Stephanie and her family get caught up in the fallout. Iris herself has spent her whole life trying to outsmart death, turning this into a full-on family feud with the Reaper. This theme of inherited doom runs through the entire movie. Death's pissed because it lost hundreds of lives back then, so now it's coming for all their descendants. And here's the cool twist. William Bloodworth, the series' creepy guide to death played by Tony Todd. Well, it turns out he was there as a kid at the Skyview disaster too, saved by Iris, which explains why he's been popping up throughout the franchise. His character had been previously left decidedly ambiguous, leaving some fans to theorize that he was supernatural in some way, or even potentially an avatar of death itself. The Skyview disaster was filmed almost entirely with practical effects. They built a massive 100-foot wide rotating restaurant set from scratch, reinforced with concrete and heavily fireproof. The studio wasn't big enough, so they constructed a whole new space around the set. Multiple versions of the dining room were made, one upright for calm scenes, then tilted 30 degrees to film the collapse. Hundreds of square feet of breakaway safety glass were rigged into floors and walls. The explosions, fire, and falling bodies were all practical stunts. Directors Lipovsky and Stein insisted on practical realism. Actors were harnessed on wires and actually thrown through breaking glass. But probably the most impressive stunt came from 71-year-old retired stunt woman Yvette Ferguson, who came out of retirement for a full-body burn and set a world record as it bagged her an honorary award, and honestly, rightly so. Breck Bassinger, who plays Iris, faced intense shooting, literally falling out of buildings on wires and dodging real fireballs, which she said helped with the acting and genuine reactions. The crew rehearsed the scene for days, director's first movie combined, so no wonder it looks so epic. The Skyview's design pulls directly from real-world icons like Seattle's Space Needle and Toronto's CN Tower, those tall, retro-futuristic structures that scream late 60s optimism and questionable safety standards. Directors Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein deliberately chased that specific decade's look, something that felt of the era but could still be terrifying today. They studied old photos from the time, where upper decks had barely any railings, and Stein leaned into that signature Final Destination formula of setups and payoffs. Early on, a maitre d' welcomes guests with a joking, "You're tearing me apart," which of course becomes painfully literal. The directors didn't just want to live up to the classic Final Destination openings, they wanted to twist the knife a bit. Zach Lipovsky called it a huge responsibility, knowing fans expect a retro cruise might have looked cool, but they knew a high-rise restaurant collapse would hit harder, way more relatable, way more terrifying. That's how Skyview. So where does the franchise go from here? While nothing's been greenlit yet, back from the dead, and thriving with the biggest debut in the series history, so a sequel feels inevitable. And if you want to know what we think Final Destination 7 should look like, check out our pitch video on the channel. We've got a ton of killer ideas and crazy theories you need to hear. So yeah, Final Destination, Bloodlines didn't just deliver an opening scene, it announced itself. From the monstrous rotating set to the fire to the stunt work, people are already calling it one of the strongest openings since the golden age of the series, and you can see why. It's slick, intense, and genuinely up to your expectations. Drop all your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Oddly Horrific for more breakdowns, pitch videos, and everything in between for your horror needs. I'll see you in the next one, if death doesn't get me first.